Hello, I'm Rev Michael Mugford, and I'm part of the ministry team at Harbour Woodside United Church, along with the Reverend Krista Elizabeth Wynne, and I'm pleased to be able to bring you this spiritual reflection today. I want us to reflect on the idea of Sabbath. We read in the book of Exodus, "Observe the Sabbath day to keep it holy. Work 6 days and do everything you need to do. But on the seventh day, it is a Sabbath to God, your God. Do not do any work, not you, nor your son, nor your daughter, nor your animals, nor even the foreign guest visiting your town. For in 6 days God made heaven, earth, and sea and sky and everything in them. God rested on the seventh day. Therefore God blessed the Sabbath day and set it apart as holy." In this day and age of not enough hours in the day and not enough days in the week to do all the work that we quote-unquote need to do, how on earth can we find time for Sabbath rest? This is made even more complicated in this day of COVID-19 with this new phenomenon of Zoom fatigue, where we've spent so much time in online meetings and discussions and church that we cannot even fathom what we can do next. Rest is not seen as truly valuable, and the amount that we do is often used as a scale for determining our worth. At one point in my ministry, I even truly questioned the value of sitting in my office and reading, meditating, praying, and thinking. If someone came into my office and found me sitting there with my eyes closed meditating, I would be afraid that they would assume at best I was taking a break and at worst I had fallen asleep. I often wander through the church just to be up and moving when I'm working on a sermon. I think it's because I have been so conditioned to think of sitting and thinking as not being equal to sitting and doing. Is sitting and meditating or praying at some point in the day Sabbath? Our Muslim brothers and sisters would say that their daily prayers are Sabbath moments in their day, I'm sure. Sabbath is a practice that is deeply woven into our ideas of our relationship to God and to the world around us. The concept of Sabbath is connected to the very creation of all that is in our world. It's found in the Mosaic code of our Hebrew ancestors as part of the community rule, or what we have traditionally called the 10 Commandments. First and foremost, I think that Sabbath is not work. One idea presented by Dorothy Bass in the book Practicing Our Faith is that each day we struggle against the natural world to change it and to make it conform to us. We work gardens, we travel to places of work, we build and we clean, and all sorts of things. On the other hand, Sabbath means that the garden must be left to rest. The car is used not at all or for pleasure. The building and the cleaning can be left undone so that we have time for Sabbath. What puts that pressure on us and keeps us from truly engaging in Sabbath? We have a misguided idea that Torah only speaks of the things that Sabbath prohibits. But there are things that the Sabbath encourages as well. People are expected to be joyful, walking for pleasure, resting and reading, talking with loved ones. In fact, I have even read that some rabbis have encouraged couples to be intimate as part of their Shabbat observance. It is for us as children of the Protestant Reformation too easy to be continually influenced by the so-called blue laws of the past that were meant to prohibit people from doing things that were deemed inappropriate on the Lord's Day. But as our society moves more and more in the direction of work, 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 is there a way to make Sabbath part of our everyday life? As Christian communities, Could we commit to creating places of Sabbath rest in our church buildings that sit empty for the vast majority of the week? Could we create alternate Sabbaths that will meet the deep needs of others? Could we make our regular Sunday worship more expressive and less formal so that the joy of the Sabbath and its observance is not a task that people seek to get over with, but rather become something that will create those places and times of togetherness and joy and love? Because when we look after ourselves, we can better look after one another. Wendell Berry wrote, "Whatever is foreseen in joy must be lived out from day to day. Vision held open in the dark by our 10,000 days of work. Harvest will fill the barn. For that, the hand must ache and the face must sweat. And yet no leaf or grain is filled by work of ours. The field is tilled and left to grace, that we may reap. Great work is done while we're asleep. When we work well, a Sabbath mood rests on our day and finds it good." May God bless you in the rest of this day. Amen.